verse that we should all meditate on. Psalms 90:12. So we need to know the days we have lived, the days that are to come, so that we may be able to live wisely. I will touch a bit on what we learned yesterday, that we have 4 generations that are depending on your income. That is the first generation, which is our father and mother, and we should honor them. The second generation is ourselves, the nuclear family. The third generation, our children, where we leave an inheritance to them. And the fourth generation, we leave a legacy, our children's children. So those are the generations that money has, that are depending on us. I hope I'm audible. Super. All right. Now, we need to know that why you plan for retirement. That's a beautiful photo of a couple enjoying their cup of tea in peace and rest as they have taken stock of their life. They're enjoying what they had been able to save. And it's very important for you to also do this and to aspire to live a comfortable, peaceful life during your retirement, because who wants drama when they're retired and they're old? People want peace, people want joy, people don't want drama. Now, you need to decide now on what age you aim to retire. And as I was researching and praying for this session, I was amazed that the Levites had a course on when they were to retire. They knew, and it was the rule that they need to begin serving in the tabernacle at the age of 25 years. Then they knew they must retire at the age of 50. After retirement, they were to assist the other fellow Levites on guarding the tabernacle, and but they were not to officiate in the active service, So even we have numbered days where we can do active service, and after our active service, we'll now have to do the other service that is less technical, less physically involving. Therefore, you also need to know when do you want to retire and what is ahead of you. And as I told you in my session, we'll do a lot of life cycle. Life cycle shows you and helps you understand where you are at a certain time in your life. So where are you now? And you need to look at the past, look at the future, and you'll bear me witness. You'll find that most of our parents, they lived life laissez-faire, or they used all their resources probably to educate us. And as a financial coach and an advisor, I always say, always, even as much as we want to give the best to our children, always have a balance. Give them what you can afford, but also do not negate your retirement. Do not negate your current life. Live in a balance. And the beauty with living in Africa, there is an opportunity in terms of housing, in terms of schooling, that can afford in every budget. Now it's for you now to pursue what's within your budget. So live a balanced life. Because if you have been keen, the current children we are raising, they're the Gen Alpha, and before the Gen Alpha or the Gen Z. These people know their rights, know their responsibilities, and one of their responsibility is not our retirement. They are not our retirement plan. Then they're waiting for you. What you have been able to do for them and keep for them is what you're going to give them. But they're not waiting for you. They're not waiting for them to be a retirement plan. So balance your mathematics so you can be able to enjoy the life of a parent and enjoy the life of a grandparent and enjoy the life of a great grandparent. Okay. What are the main concerns when you are retired? You'll find that they're insufficient. If you have one of the challenges, insufficient saving. If you hadn't planned yourself right, you realize there is more month than there is money for. Why? Because the active income is not coming in. Also, there will be very many health concerns, and the rising healthcare costs are coming up. And for your information, for those who have registered for SHA or not registered for SHA, SHA is not coming to sort your health financial bills for you or for your retired parents. For those who have been who have had the benefit of enjoying SHA recently, is taking care of a very small bill of your health insurance. And I'll give you a case in point of a very close friend and client of mine who had a bill of 2.4, and they were only able to be covered from the bill of 2.4 after the medical private insurance they had covered half of it. The SHA government covered only 155,000, and this was in a public hospital. So what am I saying? Do not wait for the government to sort your health bills in retirement. You need to consider taking care of your own. You need to plan for it in advance so that you'll be able to live a healthy and peaceful life in your retirement. Then you have a lot of social connections, because you see now you're not going to your 8 to 5 jobs. You need to engage in meeting your peers in the village, if you're in the village or here, having a time to go to social clubs. So there'll be a lot of expenses in social connection. Why? Because they're the one who's be called to negotiate the ratios, the dowry payment, to go and hold your grandbabies or your friends' babies, grandbabies. So you'll have to have that expense taken care of. You need mental and emotional well-being. You need to have a new routine, finding purpose. You have to fuel your hobbies. This requires finances. And then you need to financial security for longevity, so that you can be able to take care of unexpected financial burdens. Even the children that we have schooled, it is not a guarantee that they have jobs waiting for them. And you realize there's some scenarios where your children will be living with you because of the different factors of life. We There's not security of tenure like before, where possibly every job was permanent and pensionable. Right now, even the people who are employed, some organizations are not paying pensions for them. So you have to be very vigilant that in as much as you're investing, you may need to invest more than for you and your spouse, and have something for the kids that they can live on. Then the inflation and the economic factors. The inflation is increasing. It's not decreasing. It's continuing to increase, meaning the value of your 1,000 in 10, 20, 40 years to come will be very minimal. So you have to be very sober that even as you're investing, the vehicle that you're investing in should be able to give you security, have a better returns than the current inflation. We go back again to the life cycle, where you realize between your children age of 0 to 20, they're still living from you. They don't have the income, and they don't have the work. So between the ages of 20 and 40, between the ages of 20 and 40 is where most of us are. There you find we have to work, we have to take care of bills, we have to be very vigilant with how we are doing our finances. And then if you are 40, that's from starting 40 to 60, there we call it pre-retirement planning. And your children will be in higher education, therefore your expenses are higher, you are taking care of huge bills, you have aging parents. So you have to take care of your finances very deliberately and manage them. Then between most times you're finding people are retiring between 50 and 60, and there is mostly no employment income coming in. Maybe you have business income, good for you, and then now you're living on that income. And then you have to change, probably if you're moving from the city to the village. And then now between 60 and 80, there's what you call active retirement and what you call passive retirement. You'll be able to see this in a bit. Now, money helps you to help check in where you are currently. Money helps aid you. Money is only good if you use it as a manager. Money is terrible if you use it as a messenger. What does that mean? When money is managed, it's able to do work. Because money, apart from having it as food, should also be seed. Seed means that in later days, it will come back to you from what you have invested. Food means you have eaten it today and forgotten. So you must balance those. And how do you do that? You have to be real, to know your reality. Where am I in the graph of life? What's the position? What season am I in? What are my financial goals? What do I enjoy spending my money most on? And if you see, in as much as you're enjoying to spend your money on certain things, is it profitable to me? What is holding you back from taking care of your retirement? Because that's the main purpose we're talking about today. What is holding you back? Please put in the comment section any questions or any fears you'd like us to tackle regarding retirement, and I'll take care of them. And then in your budget, have you included your retirement savings? And I usually advise 10% of what you earn, as I was teaching you yesterday about paying yourself first, is supposed to go towards saving towards your retirement. Okay? So it's very important to balance. It's very important to balance all this. Okay? Then you need to know, where is your timeline? If I did an example of the age of 60, and depending on the year of birth, they will guide you to realize how many years of retirement you have left. And I want you to put in the comment section, how long do you have to go towards retirement? Yeah, so that we can be able to help you plan for it actively. As I said from yesterday in the foundation, 30% of your income is to pay yourself first. 10% towards emergency saving, which we put in a money market fund. 10% towards your SACCO or your children campus needs. If you've taken care of your children campus needs, put it in a SACCO where we can help you grow your investments towards multiplication for a future investment that will help you during retirement. And of course, cash is king. You need to keep aside 10% of your income today for your future. So the minimum retirement saving you should start with is 10%. Okay? So are you keeping aside 25,000, 50,000, or 1 million? For your information, the current pension that you're currently having with the employer, that's just a start. It's not a destination. Because whatever amount you're keeping, I'm sure, as you all know, we always do not want deduction. We don't want deduction from our payslip. So we often take only a minimum. We only take a minimum of the amount that we want to set aside for retirement. If, for example, you're setting aside 10,000, 25,000 from your pension scheme, is it enough to live by? And I'll also show you the implication of that amount of money and the tax implication for it in a bit. Okay? Then this is an example of why save early compared to why save later. If you are 25 years old and this 25-year-old saves 25 for 25 years, you only need to save 34,000 to have a portfolio of 10 million that will take care of you for the rest of your life. Why? We always aim to save for a century. A century is 100 years. If you retire at 55, you will have 45 years to live on. What will you be living on in the 45 years you have? If the 25-year-old starts saving at 25, they'll only save for 300 months, meaning they have the beauty of compounding of time. They'll only need to save 34,000, and the maturity estimate for that will be 22 million. And you see, this will be able to give them a stable income for the rest of their lives. From 50 years, they'll have 60,000 to live on for the rest of their life for a century. If you're 35, you have less time, you have 240 months, that's 20 years, and they need to save more to be able to get around the same amount. For 45 years, they have to save for 10 years, that is 120 months. They have to save almost 100K to be able to enjoy the same benefit. What do I mean? It is always best to have started early to save for your retirement. But the next best time to start is today to safeguard time. As we have said at the beginning, that the Lord teaches us to number our days that we may live with wisdom. Okay? There are two ways of saving towards retirement. One of which we call the corporate pension, which is handled under the Retirement Benefit Authority, where we have deferred tax. Deferred tax means when you look at your pay slip, you're not charged tax now. It's a tax allowable. But when you're accessing your retirement savings at the age between 55 and 65, any amount above 600,000, the government will come back for its tax, where it will tax you 30% of whatever you have saved. However, it helps you with the discipline of the culture of saving. Usually, if you are not given the option of being deducted that NSSF and the pension from the employer, you will not do it on your own. So you are forced to do it. However, you can be deliberate with your life. You can be able to save for yourself through a retirement savings that is under the IRA, Insurance Regulatory Authority, where the retirement benefits you get are fully tax-free. And for the amount that you're saving, you'll enjoy a tax relief, which reduces your pay of up to 15% of what you have saved, up to 5,000 per month or 60,000 per year, will help reduce your pay. It's the only thing that is a final relief in regards to retirement saving. And the retirement saving will be put under endowment with profits that will be able to help you. And then you get all your savings tax-free plus accumulated bonuses, and will also give you a discipline of culture. However, you have to be deliberate and actively do this through a monthly deduction through the bank or through your checkoff to be able to safeguard your future. Now, let me explain more about the retirement saving. It comes with the endowment with profit. It comes with what you call a pure life, where you can be able to get your savings intact. And because you are responsible in your household and there are children that you're taking care of, you have to make sure that in case you're not there, there's what you call income replacement, that they can be able to enjoy what the standard of living you had kept your family. So it comes with a free life cover. And for those who have 10 years to go, depending on your ages, it gives you a return of 40%. If for those who are 15 years, it gives you a return of 60%. For those who are younger and they have 20 years and above, it gives you between 80 to 100% return, depending on how old you are. The younger you are, the more profitable savings are, because of something called compounding. So for those, another way of safeguarding your retirement is arranging your estate. If you need to sit down and take stock, if you have ever been employed and your former employer had a pension plan, it's very important to consolidate this under your own individual pension scheme. Why? You'll be able to have access to that retirement scheme, and you'll be able to know what is going on in regards its returns on investment at the touch of a button, considering, God forbid, anything should happen to you. Will your spouse and your children left, will they be able to know how many companies you worked with and where that retirement savings is? If you're not able to account for this, even yourself, you can have forgotten how many employers you worked with by the time your retirement, and that money is sent to the unclaimed asset authority to be used by government because it's unclaimed. So I'll be able to help you to consolidate your pensions to be under you, so that you can have visibility of your investment. And this is very important. According to Proverbs 27:23, you need to know the condition of your flock. You need to give attention to your heart, so that you may know and have visibility of your investment, because your future is dependent on you. This is a very famous trainer and an Olympic reward medalist, Usain Bolt. I'm sure you all know him. He says that for him to have won, he trained for 4 whole years to run 9 seconds and to win his awards. Some people may not be able to see the 4 years that he ran, but you all want results. You all want a good life in retirement. You have to take care of the cost. You have to sit down, calculate the numbers, and see how that can work for you. And I want you to open your calculator soon so that we can be able to go through and see what that means for you. Okay? Right now, as you plan for today, for tomorrow, at age 25, you say you've just gotten a job, you just want to enjoy your money, you do not want anything disturbing you, right? At age 35, you want to get a home, the children are growing. At age 40, you have to think of the future of the children, you're taking them to campus. At age 50, I will plan for everything. You want to plan for everything now, you want to run quickly with it, yeah? And then at age 60, after now you're here and remembering now, you do not have any more years for employment. You start thinking, I wish I knew. I wish I had started planning when I started getting my first paycheck. This is not a period for regret. That's why you have the opportunity of this beautiful training. Take advantage of it now. Let's take stock of your employment. Write in the comment section, when did you start to work? The year. From that year, multiplied by the 12 months in a year. That equals to the pay slips that have gone through your hands. Okay? That's your past, your future. What is the age of your retirement? Okay? Ideally, the international ideal retirement age is 55. Anything extra is grace. If your organization accept retirement by 60 and 65, that's the grace of God. It is not your right. So please plan with 55 going below so that we can be able to take advantage of the period of compounding. And then at that age of 55, when you get their maturity, you can quickly plan with what you can be able to actively do before you fully retire, so that you're not starting from scratch. And I'll show you why. Then the age you have to go towards your retirement multiplied by 12 months, those are the pay slips left to go towards your retirement. Those are the pay slips you're left with, okay? All right, are we together? Okay, I hope we are together.
Maybe you can repeat that again.
For the past payslip, please note the year you started to work, the year, all right? Look at the year you started to work minus your current year. If you started to work, like myself, I started working in the year 2008. No, was it 2008? No, I started working in the year 2005. Yes, started working in the year 2005. Okay, so my year 2005, so I take 2024 minus 2005. I have worked for 19 years. All right, so 19 years multiplied by the pay slips. I have had 228 pay slips that have gone through my hands. That's for my past, okay? That's to help you to take stock of what has gone through your hands. Now, if you go with retirement of 55 years minus my current age right now, I have 16 years to go to my retirement of 55, multiplied by 12. I have 192 pay slips to go, active employment to go. This is to help you take stock of where you are and where you're going. I hope that is clear, Minister Joyce. Is it clear now?
Yes, it is.
All right, thank you. Now, I want us, before we go to active and passive retirement, I want you to look at this scenario. There's a gentleman called Tom Ikonye who was a retiree at 60, and this is what he told the Nation newspaper, how he lost his retirement savings of 700K. He had just disposed of an asset, and when he disposed of an asset, he entered a bar to celebrate himself, and he met somebody, and the someone told him not to go back home, that he'll be able to help him arrange a business. And he was able to give that person 350. This was on Thursday. He got his retirement on Thursday, 700,000. Then he was told by somebody, a young lady, that he can do a good business of boiled meat business, which he had no experience of, which he did not research on, and he gave out 350 to be able to do that business. And then he had a balance of 260, and he was told there are many things that are requiring that business. There are the licenses that are required, and for the workers, he was told to do another 100K. This was now Sunday. And then on Monday, he decided to reduce the number of ATM withdrawals. He withdrew everything that was left. And then he went, handed over his ATM to that lady, and then that person left him, and he went to look for her where he had been, where they had met. And that lady had his little clothes that he had during that week, and his ATM. They were put in a piece of paper, and he was given back home. And by Wednesday, he had only 8 shillings and 78 remaining in his bank account. How do you think this Tom Ikonyo was when he went to the police station to report that in 1 week he had squandered his retirement saving? Okay, so it's very important, even as you get your money in retirement, be very vigilant of who you make aware that you have this money, and also what kind of business you do. That's why I request my clients that you plan to have your money before you fully retire, so that you can have a system in place before you fully retire to, so that you cannot be swindled. And you realize that sometimes it may not be this extreme. You may start business that you have no idea about. Maybe most people start matatu business, most of my clients, and then we start picking up after that, because now they do not understand the matatu industry. It has its own dynamics, and they lose all the investments, and they come to now see what else they can do with whatever is left. So be very sober and be very keen. Now, when you retire, you realize in as much as you have retired at 55, you still have strength and energy to be able to engage in 1 or 2 activities in business and in family. So active retirement goes between 55 and 66 years, where you can still engage, participate in activity. Your mental and physical and social health is very okay, and you can involve in various pursuits. So it's very important to have to know what you want to do during that active retirement period. And you cannot be able to do it well if you have no finances. And the finances will come from you starting to save today. All right. Then you go to passive retirement, where in as much as you have finished your active, right now you do not have the health and the physical capacity to do what you are doing previously. So between 65 to 100 years, you will live on what you had provided for yourself for retirement. And here you are to sit and enjoy the fruits of your labor and enjoy your sunset years. If you had not prepared very well for it, you'll find that you'll start frustrating your children, your neighbors, and the members of the family, including the government. Serikali saidia. For your information, the only thing that the government is able to take care of you during your retirement is when they have money. They can give you 2,000 shillings at the age of 70, which you have to prove at the chiefs that you do not have capacity and you need this help. So the government is able to add to your bank account 2,000 shillings when they have the resources. So what am I trying to tell you? You have to be wise. You have to leave a legacy, not only to take care of you, but also to take care of 2 generations after you. So This is what you need to know about financial freedom cycle. Know where you stand. Get your goals. Track where your money goes. Spend less on useless junk. See what you can live without. Pay off any debt, especially consumer debt, ASAP. Save your surplus money. Create more sources of income. Avoid lifestyle inflation. Lifestyle inflation means when you get an increase next year, you now change where you're living, you change the children's school. Mm-mm. When you're talking with the coach, one of the things we'll tell you, investing in your own home is a liability. We rather you invest in where you're going to get creating passive income for yourself, and then from your passive income, you'll be able to create real estate. And we'll do this in our next session. You'll be able to create passive income through passive estates that will be able to fuel where you're supposed to live in, so that you can have different sources of income. You realize that if you're very quickly to get debt to get a home, that home may be taken away from you if you do not pay to the end, if it's a mortgage plan, or if it's a SACCO plan, or it's a security somewhere. So we'll see of how to avoid that, and how to do your calculation, invest in the future, and then you repeat this process. This is the best time that you have been able to do this class, so that you can be able to take care of your future goals. And then today's footprints is tomorrow's legacy. How much money do you need to start a retirement plan? As I said, it should be 10% of your current income. The way you have been faithful saving up towards the tithe of the Lord, also be vigilant to save towards your own retirement and your own self, because no one is coming to rescue you. And it's prudent and wise to number your days, so that you may live with the heart of wisdom. There are my contacts. I welcome any questions, so that we can be able to guide you further. Thank you. Joyce, guide us with the questions and feedback.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Hannah. We are very, for me, it's a thought-provoking process to just think through this. I think you can never hear enough about retirement. Every time I hear about it, it's always new, always thought-provoking and action-provoking. And so thank you so much. I cannot see hands on up, and I can also not see questions on the chat. I'll give you a few minutes to put that in or raise your hand. But I just want you to recap on how building your house is a liability. We always want to think, oh, maybe I should settle my family, save on rent. And that's the quickest thing that we who are in the middle class are running to do: get land, build, get a mortgage. So how is it a liability really?
Now, you realize that owning a home is still an expenditure to, yes, you have owned that home, but you realize if you have a family, the first thing you need to take care of is the quality of life. What do I mean? When you have that home, you can never take money away from that property, not unless you use it as security. So what will happen is that for you to maintain that home, it requires service charge, it requires servicing and repair. However, in financial coaching, we advise for you first to build an estate, even if it's Mabati houses up country or whatever. Create an estate where you can be able to get income, and then from that income, you'll now be able to build your home. Because most of the time, we do not build small, we do not build modest. We want to build a home that will outlive you, that will last, so that you don't keep building every other day. So you realize most of the time, we do not keep less than ₦1,000,000 in building our home, right? So you'll find out that when that money is set there, you cannot remove that money from the brick and mortar. It's permanently there. Not unless you sell the property. And even when you sell, you may or may not get the same value for whatever you had put in, looking at the inflation of money. In addition to that, if it's a mortgage, if you calculate the value of a mortgage compared to if you had bought that property immediately, you'll realize that you will have bought 2 or 3 homes. with what you have put in. So for us, we advise create passive income, create that will be able to give you security, to be able to generate money, to be able to build and for you to live wherever you are. In addition, what is a home? Is it only the four walls and the roof? What I advise is once you have created the passive income, you can live anywhere. You can even live next to State House. So, depending with the quality of life, you're finding that people who have built quite far off Nairobi in the Machakos area and the Kiambu area, but how long do they take to come to work every morning and how late do they arrive back at home? So when are they able to see their children? What is the quality of their life? Yes, they live in a beautiful home, but at the end of the day, they are staying on the road 3-4 hours in a day. Vis-a-vis, if you had created passive income and you can be able to live anywhere you want in Nairobi, but that's a debate, that's a long debate. We should be able to go through in the next session. However, I'll humbly request if you can do a round the table review or feedback to everyone who is here. Would you kindly just say something in regards to retirement and what your thoughts are? And or how long do you have to retirement? Maybe if each of us could quickly mention and maybe what you have done towards that.
Okay. So I'll just start on the list with who I'm seeing. Judith Talai, I think you're first on my screen. If you can unmute. Okay. All right. Caroline M. Makinyi. Kate Waruguru.
Hi. Sorry,
Hi.
I'm trying to multitask. Yeah, so if we are working with 55, I have 15 years to retire. Yeah, so kazi kwangu. Thank you, Hannah. It was very insightful and yet scary. But tutaendelea tu na hii safari. Thank you very much. I think for me, my key takeaway is that one on the home. I've always been those ones for tujenge nyumba kwanza. And I have a friend of mine who's always been against it. In fact, we always have a debate about it. And for him, he's of the view of what Hannah has shared, that you have passive income. Okay, I'm sorry. You have passive income and then you can live anywhere. Yeah. And for me, I was always arguing with this remote working that is coming up very fast. Unaweza jenga tu hiyo Machakos na uishi. Yeah, so thank you. Those are my thoughts. Thank you, Hannah.
Thank you,
Lovely.
Angela.
Yeah. Judith, are you in a position to speak now? If not, Leah, if you can unmute.
Thank you,
Yes.
Joyce. Okay, so experience, actually, I'm thinking to myself, I wish I had an Hannah, who advised me when those days when I was younger. At the moment, I'm retired, and I think her suggestion is very good. In fact, I have a daughter who keeps on telling me, "Mom, I don't need to buy a house now, and I need to get money, do business, invest, and then maybe later on she can buy a house which is in the city nearby, so that she doesn't have to travel far and all those." So what my experience is that if actually when you are still young, I think those ideas of investments are very good. Like, I remember in 2003, I bought a plot in Eldoret, which was like 1 acre costing 700,000. At the moment, the plot alone is costing, I think, around 24 million. You see, I was wishing that I had bought several plots so that now I can partition and sell and get money. So there is also, if you get a strategic place to like to invest in, even if you buy the plot and then build, when but it is in a strategic place, the value goes up. I would still advise that you could some property which like land in and the money will, I mean, it will multiply. Very, very impressed, Anna, with your ideas. In fact, I've been asking for more, like the PowerPoint presentations and all that. Learning.
Wow, thank you, Leah, for sharing. Joyce, we take one more and then a
Yes,
recap.
Maxi.
Hi Joyce, can I go? If Mercy is not sure. Hi Joyce.
Please go ahead,
Hi.
Penina.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Hannah, for that insightful discussion. Yeah. Even me as Kathy, I have 15 more, and I'm just when you were talking, I was just like ticking the boxes of what my husband has been telling me about home ownership. But my takeaway, and I'm glad he's here, he can witness. My takeaway is how you said that even as you invest for your kids, your education and all that, just the way you went around saying these alphas, they will just, they are not your retirement plan. Yeah. So take care of you as you take care of them. That is my key takeaway. So just be considerate for and have wisdom on how to go around that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Penina. I think because of time and we are a bit many, if you can just raise your hand if you'd like to comment. But the next online is Paris. And I can see Sheila has texted in. Paris, then Samuel. Paris, karibu. Okay, Samuel, you can go next. Uh-huh.
Okay, so
Yes, go ahead.
okay, so hi everyone. So thank you, Hannah, for the good presentation. Yes, it's a stimulating one. This one for retirement. When after campus, no one thinks about ever retiring, but it's eye-opening. I believe for those who are in employment, by default, the employer deducts this thing for employment. But I normally tell people the mandatory deduction is never enough. You need to just think in a broad manner in terms of retirement, because those tertiary years you'll not be very active. Yeah, so for me, I believe also we are currently in an age where I don't think all of us will work until retirement. I personally don't want to work until retirement. I think it's not for me. So it therefore means for me maybe it has to be, the plan has to be like on steroids so that I can be able to achieve what Hannah has just shared. And thank you so much for the session. Thank you.
Thank you. Wanja Ngugi, then Zippy. Zippy, you can go if you are ready. And then finally, Wangeshi Kehonyu.
Hello. Thank you so much, Hannah, for that conversation once again. I think it's such a great reminder that we need to planning ahead. I feel like that's the message, that we need to plan ahead. We need to be stewards of the money that God has given us. We need to number our days. And I think that connection of just thinking about retirement in the sense of planning ahead for the future, I think that's amazing. And also just that reminder that owning a home is not necessarily an investment per se, because it ends up costing you. And I've had that conversation in several spaces. And I think, yeah, I think you just reminding us about the issue of wisdom also as we are raising our children is just an excellent challenge, because I think sometimes our parents do invest a lot in us, and then the return on investment is not as great. And I think unless the Holy Spirit helps us to, to be able to invest that which God wants us to invest, we might do, like how you watch parents investing a lot of money in education for children. They give up everything, but then never fully getting the benefits, because they end up still supporting those same children because the children never made wise choices. So I think for me on that end, that is actually a sad state of affairs, where parents have sacrificed everything for their children, but then they never really get anything out of it. And not getting out of it in the sense that people want to get money from their children, but that they want the children to live a much better life, but they actually don't. So I think that is my greatest concern in that area. But thank you so much, Hannah. God bless you for your sacrifice.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Zippy. Wangeshi, if you're in a position to speak, you can unmute. Then Simon. Or Simon, if you're ready, then Wangeshi. We are commenting or saying any addition? Yes, Wangeshi.
Oh, thank you so much, Joyce, and thank you so much, Hannah. I think for me, it has just hit me. I have a lot of math to do, okay? So as to know where I am and where I need to be. So thank you so much for that. And of it, I think for me the shock is from the housing part. Yes. I believe the Lord will give us wisdom. Yeah, thank you so much, Hannah. Mungu akubariki sana.
Thank you. If I've left anyone out, apologies. We are past the hour, but I can see a few comments on the group. Maxi says, thank you, Hannah, for this session. I've learned a lot. I haven't had any other savings for retirement apart from the pension. I know better. And then Sheila Cela says, I am in the process of changing employers. I am told I can only access 50% of my provident fund. Is the other 50 transferable to a private pension? Maybe you can answer that. Yes, and she says, thank you very much for the session. Though I found it halfway, I'll share, if you're in the main group intercessory, I'll share the recording. If not, I'll text my number. Please buzz me. I'll be able to share with you the link. Yeah. So over to you, Hannah, as you conclude.
All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the roundtable. I think it was fruitful, and you all are witnesses to it. We have been able to learn from each other. Now, Sheila, you had talked about the transfer to a private pension. This is what I want us all to do, to take stock. If you ever worked elsewhere, apart from your current employer, all those different pensions, let me help you consolidate them under an individual pension scheme for yourself, so that it's not only a private pension, it's a pension under yourself, meaning you're the custodian and the trustee of it. Yes, you'll not be able to access the money because it's protected under law, but you'll have visibility of it and you'll be able to see its growth. So apart from Sheila and anyone else, you can do that. However, the pension fund with the employer is very minimal. Can we do what we can be able to do further with 10% of your income so that we can be able to protect your future and your retirement? Your children are not your retirement plan, but you have a responsibility to leave a legacy for them and your grandchildren. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for hosting me, Joyce. I am very, very grateful for this opportunity. I welcome you also to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Hannah the Financial Coach. See you on 27. Do have a Merry Christmas and a wonderful Boxing Day. It's been real. Let's retire in grace. Let's praise the Lord and keep the joy of the Lord in our hearts. Shalom. Thank you.
Shalom, shalom indeed.
Thank you.
Amen. Allow us to end with the grace, and may the grace of our Lord
Of our
Our
Lord
Lord
Jesus
Jesus
Christ
Christ,
and the
and
love
the
of
love
God
of God,
Oh,
and the
but
fellowship of the Holy
Holy
Spirit
Spirit,
be with us
Now,
now and
forever and
forevermore.
ever.
Amen.
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 Baraka.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you,
Hannah.
Baraka.
God bless you. Bye.
Bye.
Amen.